神羅転生
What's up everybody, it's your boy Hokage here, welcome to the video. Now, before I get into Boruto episode 140 review, I just want to confirm it because it's 100% official. The Mujina Bandits arc will start next week. In case you haven't seen all the spoiler videos, here you go. It's a little different because there's the addition of the Hozuki Castle and a bunch of other characters, but the core of the arc should be the same. So I'm probably going to make like a preview for that episode or something like that before next Sunday. But for now, let's talk about episode 140, which is the last transitional episode before the Mujina Bandits arc. Now, I like the idea of this episode. The purpose of it was to, I guess, develop Inojin's character because he had that little insecurity about when it comes to his mind transfer jutsu. But overall, the actual episode, I think it wasn't that good. I think it was pretty melodramatic, especially the conflict between Ino and Sai. It just wasn't executed very well. You can make an argument that, okay, they're a married couple, these kind of things happen in long-term marriages, and that's completely okay, but I just think that overall the reason behind their little fight in this episode, I just thought it was kind of executed in a lazy way. I've said this multiple times in the past, I don't take animation and soundtrack into account when I rate these episodes, so this is just like a random comment. It's not gonna affect the episode rating. But I also didn't like that they had like the villain music in this episode. I thought it kind of made it cringy, but I guess it was there to, I guess, make it funny, but I don't know, I just thought it was kind of weird. Now at the start of the episode, I feel like the start of the episode and the end of the episode, these are like the best two parts, but like the body wasn't the best. But at the start of the episode, there's this random criminal that is being chased by is it Team 10? Yeah, Team 10, Chocho, Shikadai, and Inojin. And basically at one point Inojin could have done the mind transfer jutsu, right? And that would have saved the day entirely. Like at the start, they wouldn't have to waste any time, but he couldn't do it, right? Because he isn't really good at this jutsu. And plus, it makes him feel insecure about it, and then it just makes the entire situation even worse. Now, I feel like a lot of people probably forgot about this. This was actually hinted at way back in the Boruto anime when he tried to use it for the first time. Even back then, he wasn't really good at it. So this is a nice callback to early parts of the Boruto anime. So I like that little reference there. It wasn't just like a random transitional episode, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So at the start of the episode, you have Inojin not being able to use the jutsu, and then the next day or whatever, Chocho notices that something is wrong with Inojin. She tries to like motivate him, which I really liked, because so far in the Boruto series, in my opinion, and I know quite a few people would agree with me on this one, Chocho has been annoying for the most part, I'd say. She had some good moments, but I prefer seeing Chocho like this, you know, like motivating her friend in this episode. Of course, there were the usual food references, which I think are kind of annoying, but in this episode I thought they were okay because I liked her supporting role in this episode. I think she was written well in this episode. And then you have her and Inojin, you know, training the mind transfer jutsu, the whole willpower thing, and the chips. That's where the food joke was implemented. Going back to Ino and Sai and the conflict. At one point in the episode, I thought that maybe it was staged, kind of like when Orochimaru and Log staged the conflict in the Mitsuki flashback episode. I thought it was staged so that Inojin would be forced to react and like separate them, because it was like very melodramatic. It was very unrealistic. So I was 100% sure that he would, I mean, he did step in to stop the conflict, right, with the mind transfer jutsu, but it wasn't staged. It was an actual fight. Of course, there were a couple of funny moments here and there, but overall, I just had a problem with the premise of the conflict, and so I didn't really enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, this episode is, as I said earlier, the last transitional episode, and the next episode is gonna be start of a new arc. Now I don't know how long it's gonna be in the anime. In the manga, it was pretty short, like 5, 6 chapters, something like that. But clearly, it's gonna be expanded upon in the anime version. But I'll save my predictions for the Mujina Bandits arc and stuff like that for a different video that I'll probably do this week. Now, as for the rating of this episode, it's a tough one because, again, I like the idea of the episode, I like the purpose, and the purpose was fulfilled because Inojin overcame this insecurity and he finally mastered the mind transfer jutsu. But just like the middle portion of the episode, like not the entire middle portion, but a good part of it wasn't really too good. So I think, I guess like a 7. That's not even too horrible. But I mean, it's still like 3 points deducted, right? So my rating for this episode would be 7. Still though, despite the melodramatic conflict, it was a nice resolution, and Inojin did become stronger after this episode. And of course, at the end, he treated Chocho for was it the burger place, something like that. And there's the little gag moment at the end when he mind transfers into Chocho. So I forgot to mention that. That was a nice little detail at the end of the episode. I feel like Inojin's character, like, is a side character, obviously, so he's not super complex, but I like his character. He did have a couple of, I guess, individual episodes for him that were dedicated to his growth in the Boruto anime. And overall, I think the writers, especially like people that are involved within the creation of the anime, because it's not only Kodachi, right, and Kishimoto and Ikimoto. When it comes to the anime, I feel like they did a good job. I feel like they did a good job. Once again, in this episode, it was referenced that Shikadai became a chunin. We already know that. I wonder if, because this used to be like a very popular theory in the Boruto fandom, that the anime will have like a second chunin exam. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I wonder if somebody else is gonna become chunin in the near future. I guess if I had to pick one that I think would be like super suitable for this, I would say Sarada, perhaps, maybe Mitsuki, but I'd say Sarada, although she did desert the village, right? Same as Mitsuki. So, well, Sarada left with Boruto to get Mitsuki back, but still, you get my point. This is the last point that I want to bring up about this episode. When Chocho was trying to analyze what was going on with Inojin at the start of the episode, at one point she thought that it might be because of Shikadai, like, because he might like feel inferior because Shikadai became a chunin. That could be part of it. I mean, yeah, the main psychological struggle was the lack of expertise when it comes to the mind transfer jutsu, but still, I mean, you have this super intelligent genius in your team who constantly does the most of the work, right? It wasn't really properly, I guess, explored in this episode. We didn't get like a confirmation, but that could be part of it. I mean, jealousy / envy, it's part of human nature, unfortunately. That's how we are. So that could be part of it. I thought that was going to be explored a little more in this episode, so I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't. But whatever, I might just be looking too deeply into this. That was just one of Chocho's assumptions, right? So, but yeah, guys, that's the last point that I wanted to bring up. As I said, 7 out of 10 when it comes to this episode. Not too horrible, but not very good. Again, mainly because of the melodramatic conflict between Ino and Sai. Anyway, that was your boy Hokage. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comment section of this video. Also, let me know if you're excited for the start of the Mujina Bandits arc. Do you have any predictions for that? How long do you think it's going to be? Well, these questions could be answered in the Mujina Bandits arc comment section video. But that was your boy Hokage, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.